All right, we're back for more. We started looking by looking at rethinking how we teach writing and how we use writing by using it outside of the writing classroom, between contexts, looking at collaboration and how to engage students in all parts of that process using the writing process, collaboration, feedback, peer editing, reflective writing. Now we're moving on to how do we manage all of this from a teaching perspective as we're trying to write across contexts and trying to keep quality writing, quality thinking going on here. So let's go ahead and look at what we've got going on for the objectives. And you're seeing again just kind of a structure here that is a little bit incomplete. The finalized structure will look a little different on your screen, but the basic objectives are still here. You will explore why structure matters across content areas in engaging students and in coaching academic writing. We're going to look at structuring the classroom. We're going to look at helping students to um, helping to know how to meet students at their individual place by how we set up our classroom. We can't teach writing from the front of the room. We must. Students are going to lose their focus on what they're doing and not be able to accomplish what they want to accomplish. And students do want to accomplish learning. I think that sometimes we assign students the role of being lazy or apathetic, and it's true that we have resistant writers. I live with one who had to write a paper tonight, and we struggle, and we have to work hard to get a paper developed from him. And it's going to be a long haul through high school for him. He's just in middle school right now. But I believe that if we structure a classroom, a writing classroom, in a way that is inviting to students in their learning and that really espouses, even in the way we put arrange the desks, what we want out of their writing experience in terms of interaction and choice and a pace that works for them individually, there's some exciting things that can happen. So, what does writing workshop look like? How can we set up a writing workshop in any content area that allows us to use all of these values of collaboration and authentic tasks in writing, where we start students with a question and we let them workshop out that question in our classroom, and different things are going on in different parts of our room, and we might be talking to a few students over here, and another group is collaborating, and another group is watching a video that we've created, and another group is peer editing in a very small group. So what can these workshops look like, and how can we help allow that structure to be the scaffolding we need to set up for our students so that they can build what we want them to build? And ultimately, how is this going to look? How are we going to transform our project that we've been working on into a structure under a writing workshop? And it will help us manage our workload. We can't be everywhere. The whole idea of individualizing instruction is overwhelming unless we think of this type of process. So I'm going to give you some writing workshop tools from writingfix.com. Writingfix is full of other writing tools as well. I have you focused in on the process workshop, but I'm hoping that as you explore that, you might want to even branch off and look at some other things. We have writing workshop management in grades K through 8 for those of you who are work with the younger grades. Specifically, I wanted to throw something in. I know my specialty tends to be the grades beyond 8th grade, so I wanted to throw something in that gave you some traction for those specific grades. And then we have just the writing workshop concept in general. If you're not familiar with this, you might want to start with this particular reading. If you are familiar, just go through and do a skim, but it embeds some great resources too. It's a pretty interactive little document, but it is a little bit longer. And then this particular website is going to give us 50 education technology tools to help us in our writing workshops to implement a workshop in our classroom. Even if you're limited on the number of devices you have, there are some ideas here that you can use with your classes to even capitalize on the very few devices you have in your classroom. So wanted to share those with you. So what is this all going to culminate into, of course, as our next installment of our writing project. And I'd like you to establish a classroom writing plan. You might even want to um, have a diagram of some sort and show how you're going to arrange the furniture with stations and what resources you're going to use and ideas and guides. It could be a diagram, it could be a description, it could be both. You may even want to create some sort of calendar of like what kind of rotation you're going to have. If stations are too long for one class period, how are you going to do a reset as your next class comes in if you're teaching classes that rotate? How can you what are you going to do to devote maybe a station to a particular content that you're pairing with? Or how are you going to set up a collaboration station? What is it going to look like for you? How do you envision it? So that is what we're working on in ModFont 4. We are coming close to the end of our modules, so you're seeing that we're trying to put a little bit more a few more bones in the structure here. If I mean, obviously, this is a kind of like a living, breathing working process. And just like we want to teach our students that their writing is never really complete, if you find yourself needing to go back and like totally revamp something you started with, feel free to do that. This is what this is about. These little modules are just to get us going so that when Mod 5 comes along, we're not like completely overwhelmed with a final project. So take as much creative license as you need to make this come together for you. And I hope that this experience has been a positive one, that these resources are helpful. If you have any questions, as always, use my email first, and if not, you can always text me as well. Have a great module.